It was meant to be an unforgettable evening, a celebration marking my wife Claw's 30th birthday. Never in my wildest dreams did I expect it would also become the night where the first cracks in our marriage would begin to show. Claw and I had been together nearly 8 years. We'd built a life, a home filled with laughter, shared experiences, and what I'd always believed was a deep understanding of each other. Sure, like any couple, we had our disagreements now and then. But in my mind, our bond was solid, our love unshakable. At least that's what I thought. Claw had always had that magnetic energy, the kind that pulled everyone in without her even trying. Her smile could light up the dullest of places, and she had this effortless way of making people feel like they mattered. It was one of the things I adored most about her. She was the spark in any gathering, charismatic, social, and full of life. I'd often catch myself admiring how naturally she connected with people. But tonight there was a shift. Something felt off. It had all begun as a casual chat about how she wanted to ring in her birthday. She mentioned throwing a big party at a trendy bar downtown, just the kind of event she loved. Friends, family, a few folks from her office, nothing unusual. Claw had always been one for going all out when it came to celebrations. I went along with it, even though I wasn't thrilled about the fuss and all the logistics. Still, as always, I just wanted her to be happy. The invite list ballooned, the venue was booked, the decorations chosen. It was all falling into place for what I figured would be a fun, easygoing night. The day of the party, I came home from work exhausted but glad to be done, and found Claw beaming as she held up a striking red dress. "This is it," she announced with a twinkle in her eye. "I want to look extra special tonight." I smiled back, appreciating her excitement. She really did look stunning, and seeing her so full of joy, it made me feel proud, lucky even. This was her night, no doubt about it. By the time we stepped into the bar, the place was alive with energy. Music thumped in the background, friends greeted each other with hugs and stories, laughter bounced off the walls. Claw was in her element, glowing brighter than the string lights overhead. We made our rounds, clinking glasses, catching up with people, enjoying the vibe. It all felt perfect. But somewhere along the way, that perfect feeling started to slip. And it was because of Jake, Claw's ex. I hadn't laid eyes on him in years, and to be honest, I never liked the guy. They dated briefly before we met, and even after they supposedly moved on, there was always a weird tension between them. It wasn't anything blatant, more like this silent undercurrent I could never quite put my finger on. I never fully trusted him. And deep down, I don't think I ever believed he'd completely let Claw go. The moment he showed up, I saw her face light up like a switch had been flipped. "Jake's here," she said, practically bouncing as she rushed over to greet him. She hugged him longer than felt appropriate, and the kiss she planted on his cheek wasn't exactly casual. It caught me off guard. My stomach twisted a little, but I shrugged it off. "Don't be ridiculous," I told myself. "They're just friends, nothing more." Still, that little seed of doubt, it didn't go away. As the night wore on, I couldn't stop noticing how they were around each other, laughing like they shared some secret joke, leaning in too close, voices low as they spoke. From across the room, I watched Claw's eyes stay on him longer than necessary, her fingers brushing his arm now and then like it was the most natural thing in the world. I tried to stay present, talk to people, enjoy the night, but the background noise faded, and all I could hear was the quiet alarm ringing in the back of my mind. I kept telling myself I was imagining things, that I was being overly sensitive. But a slow, bitter sensation started creeping in, the kind you don't want to admit is there, the kind that feels a lot like betrayal. Then, just like that, everything changed. I stood in a shadowed corner, watching the chaos spread through the room like a stone thrown into still water. The confusion on the face of Amanda, my wife's sister, was replaced by panic. Now she was whispering something to someone else. Claw's laughter stopped when she noticed the sudden change in mood. People turned around. She looked around the room, her eyes searching for something, someone, until they landed on me. That radiant smile she wore just moments ago, gone, replaced by something brittle, uncertain. She took a hesitant step toward me, Jake trailing behind her like a loyal shadow. I could see it all playing out in real time, the cracks forming in the perfect picture she had painted for herself. I didn't say a word. Let her ask me what I said to Amanda. Let her imagination run wild. Really, I didn't say anything dramatic, just one sentence. Ask her what happened in Paris. That was it. Amanda knew enough to understand the weight of those words. And Claw. She knew exactly what they meant. Then my wife had too much alcohol and did a lot of things she wanted to forget. She reached me, her voice barely above a whisper. What are you doing? I looked at her, really looked at her, for the first time in a long time, without the rose-colored filter of love and history. And for the first time, I didn't see the woman I fell in love with. I saw the woman she had become, or maybe the one she had always been. It's over, I said softly. She blinked, stunned. What do you mean? I mean this game, this night, this thing you think is still a marriage. It's over. You made your choice when you kissed him. I'm just making mine now. She reached for my arm, but I stepped back. There was no dramatic scene, no shouting, no tears, just silence. And sometimes silence is the loudest sound of all. I left the bar that night without looking back. And just like that, the celebration that was supposed to mark the beginning of a new decade for Claw became the end of everything we were. She tried to hold on to her composure, but the photos had knocked the wind out of her. Her voice dropped, trembling now, not with rage, but something far more fragile. You said you deleted those, she whispered, her eyes darting around the room as though someone else might have seen them too. I didn't flinch. I said a lot of things. So did you. She raised her hand to her mouth, realizing the gravity of what I had done. Claw had pushed me to the extreme, and I wasn't going to let her rewrite history to make a fool of me. You don't get to play the victim here, I added. You brought Jake into our marriage long before tonight. All I did was remind you that you're not the only one who can keep secrets. She laughed then, sharp, bitter, defensive. So what, you're proud of this? You think you've won? No, I said. There's no winning here. We both lost a long time ago. There was a silence between us, thick and suffocating. The kind of silence that says everything you've both been avoiding. And somewhere behind the noise of the bar, of clinking glasses and music still playing like nothing had happened, reality settled in. We were done. No dramatic goodbye, no last plea. Just the quiet, aching finality of something shattered beyond repair. Claw turned to leave, her shoulders stiff, her pride dragging behind her like a torn veil. I didn't follow. Instead, I sat back down, the phone still in my hand, the pictures still on the screen. And for the first time in a long time, I felt something close to peace. Not because I'd hurt her, but because I finally stopped letting her hurt me. Cheating Secrets podcast, like me,